Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I just want to take a moment just to tell you about the importance of understanding who God is and what your identity is in relation to prayer and why that is important. And so I want to just share a moment from Luke chapter 18 about the parable of the persistent widow. This passage spoke very strongly to me when I was in university, so strongly that myself and a few friends of mine, we actually started a house of prayer on my university campus, and we met about 4 hours a week just for prayer in our university chapel. And God did some crazy, amazing things through that. And so I just wanted to share this one passage that really spoke to me when I was younger. So I'll just go ahead and read it. It says, "Then Jesus spoke a parable to them, saying that men always ought to pray and not lose heart, saying that there was a certain city with a judge who did not fear God nor regard man. Now there was a widow in that city. She came to him saying, 'Get justice for me from my adversary.' And he would not for a while. But afterward he said within himself, 'Though I do not fear God nor regard man, yet because this widow troubles me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she wearies me.' Then the Lord said, 'Hear what the unjust judge says. And shall God not avenge his own elect who cry out day and night to him, though he bears long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he really find faith in the earth?'" So here, Jesus is actually talking about the end times. Right before that, he talks about the ark and remembering Lot's wife. And so this is all in the context of the age before Jesus comes back. And the parable is that of a widow, a woman who has lost her husband. She's all alone. She's by herself, and someone has done something wrong to her. And so she approaches the judge, but yet he doesn't give justice because he doesn't fear God. He's an ungodly, unjust judge. But the woman keeps going back again and again and again and again and again. And finally the judge becomes so weary, he says, "Enough, I will give you justice." And that's the parable that Jesus is saying. He's saying, remember what the unjust judge does to the widow. A judge who is not just, who does not fear God, because the widow comes again and again and again, he finally gives her request. Now here's what we learn from this. Our God is not like the unjust judge. And we, the church, his bride, are not like the widow. And that makes all the difference in our prayer lives. So get this, it's so important that we understand who God is and that we understand who we are. God is a just judge. He is a father and he is our bridegroom. And we are not a widow, but we are married to the King, and we are sons and daughters of the Most High. And so if an unjust judge answers a widow's request, how much more will our Father in heaven answer his church, his bride, if we cry out to him? So guys, I just want to encourage you today that God is a just judge who is ready to answer our prayers, and we are not a widow, we are his bride, married to him. How much more will he answer our prayers? And just in verse 8, he says, "I tell you, I will avenge them speedily when they cry out day and night." There's just this element of crying out to God day and night that causes God to respond speedily with justice. And many of us are right now in the middle of this 40 days of 24/7 prayer leading up to Pentecost. I just encourage you, if you have not jumped in on this yet, jump in, because we're doing 24/7 continuous worship right now. We've got 20 days left, and it says that God will avenge his elect speedily who cry out to him day and night. The last question, he says, when he comes back, will he really find faith on the earth? How I read this is not, will someone somewhere have faith in the earth to be able to pray and persevere and not give up? But I think what Jesus is saying is, will he find faith in you? There's going to be somebody on the earth who perseveres in prayer and in faith and believing, who prays to him day and night, 24/7, a community of people praying 24/7. But he's asking the question, will he find faith in you? Will he find perseverance in you? Will he find a hunger in you for prayer, praying and crying out to him day and night for justice on the earth? So I just want to challenge you with that today. Know who God is, Know who you are, and let there be faith and perseverance in your heart that causes him to move with justice. Amen. Bless you guys.